Hey everybody. So recently I was at work and overheard a conversation, and someone asked, "What's the difference between a Pilsner and a lager?" Well, it's my job to educate people about beer choices, so obviously I jump in. But it got me thinking back to 2011, which was first really when I was getting into beer, and I'm pretty sure at the time I had the same question. So, to answer the question, what's the difference between a Pilsner and a lager? The answer is yes. No, but seriously, a Pilsner is a lager, or it's in the family of lagers. So, to put it simply, beer can be broken up into two major groups: ales or lagers. You could maybe do three groups. I think lambics and sours are sometimes classified in a whole other category, but for now, let's just ignore that. What's an ale and what's a lager? Well, it comes down to the type of yeast you use. Lager yeast is typically a species of yeast called Saccharomyces pastranus, while ale yeast is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. These two different strains of yeast like to ferment at different temperatures. Ales typically between 65 and 72, lagers between 55 and as low as 45. These two different strains subsequently produce different tasting results in your beer. Lagers ferment cleanly over the course of 4 weeks and thus produce a crisp, clean taste. Ales conversely produce more alcohol, esters, and phenols. These are flavor compounds that can be perceived as a variety of fruits, spices, and some other unique taste. And this typically takes 7 to 10 days to ferment. So put simply, lagers are fermented cold and have clean, crisp taste. Ales are fermented warm and have fruity characteristics to them. With that being said, let's look at some branches of the beer family tree and see where some styles fall. Not all have a lager or an ale in the name to give it away to, such as in case of the Pilsner. So as we said before, we have lagers on one side of the beer family tree and ales on the other. And then each one of these groups can be broken up into smaller subcategories. And then some of those subcategories can even spawn off into categories. So let's look at some of the beers that you might see classified as ales and lagers. There are European lagers, and then there's the American Pale Ale, and then we also have American lagers and European dark lagers. Conversely, we also have Belgian ales and porters. European dark lagers include Munich Dunkels and Schwarzbier, just to name a few. On the ale side, we have porters, which breaks off into American and English version. There are other versions of porters, but just for simplicity, we're just showing these two today. And the American Pale category further breaks off into amber ales, California commons, and IPAs, while porters go into stouts, which stouts further divide off into the milk stout or oatmeal stout, sweet stout, imperial stout, stouts for days. On the lager side, we have American lagers and pilsners, all manner of German lager that are not shown on the screen. So seeing that American Pilsner right beside the American lager may have you wanting to circle back to our original question. What's the difference between a Pilsner and a lager? A Pilsner uses all Pilsner malt, unless it's a light Pilsner, in which case you may use corn or maybe even some rice can be used. So yeah, that's kind of the breakdown. I know this has kind of ran a little long for answering the question of what's the difference between a lager and an ale, but hopefully you have less questions than you started with. If you do have some questions or comments, just leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, like and share it, and we'll get some more content out to you soon. Be sure to go to thebrewsmith.com, check out some of our blog posts, and subscribe for our quarterly newsletter. All right, this is Thomas signing off. Cheers.